A buffer is a solution that can resist pH change upon the addition of an acid or base. It is able to neutralize small amounts of acid or base, thus maintaining the pH of the solution relatively stable. Buffers work by reacting with any added acid or base to control the pH. It replaces a strong acid or base with a weak one. A strong acid is an acid that completely dissociates in an aqueous solution. There is no state of equilibrium. For example, take hydrochloric acid, which is a strong acid. When it is mixed with water, it dissociates into chloride ions and hydrogen ions. On the contrary, a weak acid is an acid that partially dissociates in an aqueous solution. It is in a state of equilibrium. Now it is time for the technique. First step in this lab is to obtain your buffers, one with a pH of 4 and the other with a pH of 7. Then obtain your unknowns of apple juice, orange juice, HCl, acetic acid, NH4OH, and NaOH. Now obtain your pH meter and begin setting it up. Be careful with the probe because it is very fragile. The first step to set up the pH meter is to plug it in and then turn it on. Now we want to calibrate our pH meter. To do so, gently unscrew the electrode from the storage solution and then rinse it with distilled water into a beaker. Always place the meter in a beaker of distilled water when not in use. Then place the electrode into the buffer with a pH of 7 and gently stir the solution. Be careful not to bump the electrode against any hard surfaces. You will use the pH meter to adjust the readings. First click Sensors, then Calibrate, CH1 pH, Calibrate Now, and then enter the value 7.0 of the pH. Then press Keep. Then you will take the electrode and rinse it with distilled water in the beaker again. Then blot dry and place the probe into the pH buffer of 4 and gently stir. Then type 4.00 and press Keep in your pH meter. Then press OK. The reading should read close to 4.00. Then wash the probe with distilled water into your beaker and place it into a beaker of distilled water to store. Now to double check the calibration, we will rinse the probe off again and stir it into the buffer of a pH of 7. Then we will check if the reading reads 7.0. If this reading is accurate, this means that your pH meter is calibrated and ready to use. Now we will obtain the pH readings for our unknowns. First, rinse the probe off with distilled water and then blot dry. Then gently stir into the solution to obtain your pH reading. Then you will rinse it off with distilled water and place into a beaker of distilled water when not in use. We will all repeat these steps to obtain the pH values for our unknowns. Make sure to record the pH values and always place the probe into a beaker of distilled water when not in use. Always make sure to record your pH values after obtaining them. Now we will properly store the meter. First turn it off and unplug the meter. Then dry the probe and screw it back into the storage solution. Then you will wrap the cord around the probe and place it back into the location that you obtained it from. Make sure you record your data in an organized chart. Always remember, the true sign of a great chemist are the red rings around your eyes after a great lab.